make. And
So you did get to make the video.
but I didn't like, let me explain.
Go on, yeah.
Okay, so in my marathon video, I talk about this idea, which is that like, to access some of the greatest things in life, it always necessitates doing some of the hardest things in life. There's sort of an inverse proportionality. The harder you work at something, the greater the outcome. And
I'm sensing a theme in our conversation.
yeah, in the marathon video, I very much so tie it to running, and it's sort of a singular idea. But the broader video that I don't know that I can now make because I've already, used that idea in that video. But I had this bigger idea of like, the hotter the fire, the harder the steel, like, which is demonstrated in that video, but like really showing that like the hardest pursuits in life will always yield the biggest, most satisfying results. And then I wanted to take it to a place of like relationships, like marriage. Like when I think of what are the hardest things I've ever done in life, I think marriage is the single hardest thing. And I've been married for 10 years. I'm very lucky, but like I find that how many people here are married? So I know I'm not talking to myself. Oh man, that's weak. It's like there are two kinds of married people in this world. Those who will tell you that marriage is really hard, and then liars. Because it's the hardest thing. But the reward for that hard thing is that you get to share your life with another human being. Or it's like having children. If you're someone who chooses to have children, like yeah, you've got to give up going out. You give up your social life. You give up your friends. Like weekends you're changing diapers instead of going to brunch and having bottomless mimosas. But what you get for it is like this version of love that can only be accessed when you have a child. And like in your career, you can like sort of just take whatever job comes along your way. Never choose that to be a hard thing. Or you can like roll the dice and say, no, I want to build that business. I want to start that bakery. My dad opened a coffee shop when he was 43. And had a coffee shop for 20 years. Like you can go for it. And if you find that success and you did it, like the reward is so much higher than playing it safe. So I had this movie that like, I was gonna build this machine that when you slide the difficulty like marker down, the reward marker goes up. And it was like this really deep movie. And then instead I just like couldn't figure out how to make my stupid marathon movie, and I conflated the two ideas. But I think it worked out. Marathon movie's great. But that specific narrative, like that's an idea that has sort of possessed me my whole life, is like if you like anything you take on that's ostensibly impossible, if you do it, on the other side of that you will access something that you would have never otherwise had access to.
You do make great Valentine's Day videos.